Now we have a real soldier, a double-duty home run hitter here. Olga from Theosophical Society, Adyar, Crotona will tell us some more ideas.
Yeah, indeed. I was lucky enough to be asked to talk twice, which I appreciate, so I don't complain. When I was preparing for my talks for this conference, I decided to dare myself not to use any quotes. There is nothing wrong in quoting wise words of others. Indeed, it might be very helpful sometimes to use the expressions of the ideas and thoughts that resonate with us, as long as it doesn't become a habit of lazy thinking. In order to explain what I mean, we can take such an example. As children, we learn to ride a bicycle using detachable wheels for extra balance. With practice, we become more confident in our riding and eventually have no need for such extra support. We let go of them to discover the freedom and joy of riding a bicycle on our own. At school, we are taught to include quotes and a variety of references in order to give additional credit to our dissertation. And we turn to apply the same principle of sound academic approach to theosophy at times. Thus, we base our conclusions on somebody else's insights and reflections. We quote Dalai Lama, Buddha, letters of the Mahatmas, etc. Anyone who see as authority. Sometimes we try to make such authority out of HPB's words, to use it as a common ground for the theosophists around the world that we can settle on without any argument. Respect someone for their altruistic work, feel reverence, love, and gratitude, yet seeing them as the same expression of the same divinity and humanity as we all embody, without making an idol or authority out of them. That is a path of true seeker of truth. Isn't it that Theosophy requires from us one thing, and one thing only, an open mind, to challenge the solid ground of our conditioning? Humanity lives in fear. It is a fact. The racism, violence, competition we see around us is a result of such fear. The more we fear, the bigger it will get. In order to bring change in the outer world, we need to change our own way of thinking, our own perception. We need to learn to cultivate thoughts of love, goodwill, and kindness, just as we so habitually generate thoughts of discontent, sadness, and intolerance. To be the healing force for the world, we need to think as being such already, rather than focusing on what needs to be healed. We all the time try to find some sort of external action to perform in the future. By doing so, we are stealing our attention from the only true reality we have, here and now. Make it a daily effort to use our imagination, our mental capacity, our intuition to realize, live, and see the brotherhood of humanity we speak about as reality. To use this positive impulse as a foundation of our actions, we have to start with ourselves. Are we looking for a solution, some sorts of steps to take that will lead us to our aspired goal of universal brotherhood? Spiritual evolution is an inner quest. As soon as we've created in front of us a concrete system of beliefs, we've reached the dead end called dogmatism. Theosophy requires flexibility and openness of mind in order to be able to see things as they are, including ourselves. Life can never be reconciled to preconceived ideas. It can only be understood by experiencing it in the present. What is the nucleus of the Universal Brotherhood? For me, it is not a bundle of people who think alike, for such brotherhood would have been another sect, separate from the rest of mankind. I see a nucleus of the Universal Brotherhood as life itself. All life is a nucleus, because brotherhood is what unites us all. And it is here and now. It is not something outside of us that we need to create or form. What are the obstacles that we need to address if we want to cultivate brotherly relationships, to live in harmony with other people and nations? One such hindrance lies within ourselves. We want to be brothers and sisters only on our own terms, and if others follow our vision. In my opinion, a sincere theosophist welcomes friendly criticism, if it is, of course, constructive and kind, as an opportunity to awaken oneself from the intellectual comfort. Another obstacle is that we don't want to associate ourselves with those people who, in our view, are sinful and immoral. Sometimes our righteousness isolates us from others because we might think that we are better than them. And this is a perfect test to see whether our goodness is genuine or it is a role that we are playing. It is not in our power to change others. Nevertheless, when we acknowledge something positive in others, we're helping them to see it in themselves. How often do we ask ourselves, am I a nucleus of universal brotherhood in my lodge, in my family, at work, and in any form of relationships I am involved in? What does it take? Perhaps alertness and awareness? We make a choice every moment, and we can make it consciously. No one can make it for us. We cannot put this responsibility on someone else. Theosophy is not a refuge from our fear of life. How often do we pay attention to our choices, to our reactions, to our thoughts? For example, last Saturday at the mall, a mentally disadvantaged man was passing me by. In that moment, I registered that I felt concerned, insecure, and shifted my body away from him automatically. Simply by paying attention to my reaction, being honest with myself, and asking myself why I chose to react that way, I made a choice to react in a different way, with compassion rather than fear, and to see him in a different light. There are many paths to truth. For another person, it might be different than for me. As long as our common sense tells us that we act as a source of harmony rather than of discord, we can follow that path. Theosophical society was formed by and for people who not simply believe in the universal brotherhood, but who aspire with all their hearts and souls towards the realization of this great truth. There is a much closer connection between theosophists than we see it. Our inner intention to serve humanity unites us all, and by working together in harmony, we inspire each other. But can we work in harmony, exploring new ideas and challenging the established doctrines? A theosophist is an explorer who is aware and curious to learn about the new discoveries in all spheres of life. We aspire to be a healing force for the world. But can we welcome, as brother and sister Theosophists, those who interpret theosophical doctrines differently from us? My opinion and understanding of the theosophical doctrines can change tomorrow, because there is nothing permanent in the manifested world. I won't be the same person tomorrow as I am now. Why to waste our energy and time on arguments and intolerance? Can we respect the right of others to express and to exercise the freedom of thought? Critical thinking is essential to spiritual path. Not only it helps us to recognize truth wherever it may be, it also gives us courage in the moments of doubt and despair that we experience in different moments of our life. Theosophy teaches us self-reliance. For self-reliance, understood as inner strength within each seeker of truth, brings understanding that without these earnest seekers, there would be no theosophical movement. It is also the foundation for the individual and common responsibility of each theosophist to carry out the work for humanity and to be an active helper to spread theosophical ideas, which will help people to open their hearts and minds to the spirit of truth. Each one of us has to realize life as a nucleus of the universal brotherhood within our own consciousness in order to be able to manifest it in this world. Thank you.